Hello guys, welcome to our channel .NET Training, and today I'm going to explain you routing in MVC. So yeah, in the ASP.NET Web Forms applications, every URL must match with a specific .aspx file. For an example, if you're using the older version of ASP.NET application, so you'll be like coming through this kind of URLs normally. Like URL will be http://domain/studentsinfo.aspx, and that must match with the file studentsinfo.aspx that contains the code and the markup for rendering a response to the browser. Yep. So routing is not specific to the MVC framework. It can be used with the ASP.NET Web Form application or MVC application. So ASP.NET introduced routing to eliminate the needs of mapping each URL with a physical file, and routing enables us to define a URL pattern that maps to the request handler. This request handle can be a file or a class. In ASP.NET Web Form application, a request handler is ASPX file, and in MVC, it is the controller class and action method. For an example, you can see a domain, HTTP domain slash students can be mapped to HTTP slash domain students info.aspx in ASP.NET Web Forms. And the same URL can be mapped to the student controller and the index action method in MVC. Route defines the URL pattern and handler information. All the configured routes of an application stored in route table and will be used by the route engine to determine the appropriate handler class or file for any income request. So this is the diagram. You can just go watch it. So once you get a URL request from user, so we don't have a route engine. We just URL, like if you just have it, so it'll have a full URL routing details, route 1, route 2, route 3, and URL patterns and handler. So all the details will be present in the route table. So you could see how, right? So once you get the request from user, so URL request, you're getting it and providing to the route engine. So route engine has a route table, and whatever the URL which are provided, if it matches with the configured routes, yes, just then go ahead and execute controller and action method. And if it doesn't match, go ahead and say that okay, for not for. And once it is able to find the exact controller and the action method, it's going to give the response. And configure a route. Every MVC application must configure, or we can say it is a register, at least one route configured by the MVC framework by default. And you can register a route in route configured class .cs class, which is under app start folder. The application figure illustrates how we can configure a route in the route config class. So I'm just going to show you this class. Yeah, this is the class. You can see route config class, and it's a class. So it has a route to ignore. If you want to just ignore any routes, you can just see that piece of line is there for you, and you can see default route name and URL pattern and default route for that for our MVC application. So you could see that route config.cs file is present inside the app underscore start folder. So you guys can just go ahead and open your MVC application and just double click on route config. So by default, you're going to get route map route, and this is what by default you're going to get it. As you can see in the above figure, the route is configured using the map route extension method of a route collection, where name is default, URL pattern is controller action ID, and the default parameter for the controller action method and ID parameter. Default specify which controller action method or value of ID parameter should be used if they don't exist in the incoming request URL. In the same way, you can configure other routes using map route method of the route collection class. This route collection is actually a property of the route table class. URL pattern. So URL pattern is considered by only after the domain name part of the URL. For an example, URL pattern is controller action ID would like local host. I mean, it to be running on separate port numbers, which is already you can just see. You can just launch your application. You could see our application is running on 44366. So that is what, yeah, no, it has been explained over here. So anything after localhost would be considered as a control name, and the same way anything after the control name will be considered as a action name. And then the value ID of a parameter. If there's any parameter you just want to pass it along with the URL, you just can go ahead and pass, and you know, on one URL. I know if it is an integer, you can just pass out the integer value, and how can do that? You can just specify slash and one, and an action method should be present in the controller, and which will receive your like ID from your URL. So as of now, I'm not going to do that because I don't have any action method which can receive ID here. So yeah, you can see here. So controller, action method, and ID are, like I said, parameter value. Also, I'll just show you over here. So we do have a home controller. If you just click on home controller, inside that we have an index method. Yeah, exactly. So in the URL doesn't contain anything after the domain name, then the default constructor and the action method will handle the request. For an example, if you are running HTTP localhost 1234 would be handled by the home controller, and the index method as configured in the default parameter. The following table shows which controller and action method and ID parameter would handle different URLs containing the above default route. Yep, this will be the, you know, the table of your route. So it looks like this. So it looks like URL localhost slash name, and these are all the possible cases. We just have to go, but about is there, contact is there, and student is there, and student edit. If you want to go ahead and edit there'll be an action method, you can just go ahead and create and pass a 123 value for that. And these are all the URLs which is completely, you know, configured about the default route. Yeah. So multiple routes. So what do you mean by multiple routes? You can also configure a custom route using map route extension method. You need to provide at least two parameters in map route, route name, and a URL pattern, and default parameters optional. You can register multiple custom routes with the different names. Consider the following example where we register student role. Yep. So what we have here, so actually I have created a controller. So that like I already created for you. And this is a new controller which I created. So inside the like, I have created a controller, and I created a corresponding view for that. So here what I'm doing, I'm just going to go ahead and register our student route. You can just see here, just go to route.config.cs. You could see here, that's been registered over here. As shown in the above code, the URL pattern for the student role is student slash ID, which specifies the only URL that starts with the domain name slash students must be handled by the student controller. Yes, because we just specified that which control should be handled. And notice that we hand specify the action in the URL pattern because we want every URL that starts with the students should always use the index action of the student controller class. We have specified the default controller and the action to handle any URL request. We start from domain name slash students. Go see here. That this is what we configured it. So we not specify the, like, you know, exact control name, but doesn't matter. We just have to load the action method students at any given point of time. So I mean, the URL itself, you can just check it out. So how the details has been provided for registering a student route. Okay, so this is how the, you know, the registration for a student road is done. So let me go ahead and try to explain you the next topic, and that is some the MEC framework. Evaluate each route in sequence. It starts with the first configured route, and if the incoming URL doesn't satisfy the URL pattern of the route, then it will evaluate the second route, and so on. In the above example, and route engine will evaluate the student route first. If the incoming URL doesn't start with the students, then only it will consider a second route, which is default route. Right? You could just go ahead and see it here. So what it's expecting student URL. So it's expecting a local host and followed by the slash and student. And so it is expecting that. Even if it is not getting that, and if it's unable to find the particular controller or a view for that, so what it's going to do, it's going to just execute the next routing which you have done, default routing. That is a home and index. So the following table like shows how the different URL will be mapped to the student role. Yeah, you can just go like just have a look into this like localhost slash 123 and localhost and the student and slash index 123, and like another one is which is you can just pass the parameters as a just a question mark. You can just use it and just pass it over by using that. These are all different URLs will be mapped to the student coach and route constraints. So you can also apply restrictions on the value of the parameters by configure the route constraint. For an example, the following rule applies a limitation on the ID parameter that ID's value must be numeric. Okay. So if you give non-numeric value for ID parameter, then that request will be handled by another route. And if there are no matches routes, then the users could not be found, error will be thrown. And actually what you have to do, you just have to make sure that what you're passing from the from the URL. So it's like it's saying very clearly that if you're passing anything non-numeric value, non-numeric in the sense like anything other than integers, so that request will be handled by another route. And if there is no matches it's unable to find that any match, then the route could not be found. Yes, so because it's unable to find the action method or the controller which you're trying to find out. So at that time, what will happen? We just say that okay, fine. So there's no particular control or action method with respect to the URL which you provided. So you could just go ahead and just check it over here. So how the constraint has been, you can just check it like a student does. And along with that, you just trying to pass ID, name, and the standard ID. So here you're just like ID is a optional parameter. So there's no, and also you can just say that and see that like the controller and the action which is presented, like which you provided in the roads.map approach and register routes. So now after configure the routes in the road config class, you need to register it in app start. So actually this by default it takes care of it, so you don't have to make any changes. Even in global.asx. So this is the global.asx is the page which runs first when you launch your application. Okay, so actually when you create MEC application by default, you're going to get global.asx, and if you open that global.asx.cs file, you could see .config.register also sorted them. So you don't have to worry and just go ahead and register for that. But yeah, you're just going to get it by default in global.asx. Yep. So this is the like one of the diagram which will explain you the illustration of the route registration. So what happens? So as I explained you, when you run the application, so global.asx, the first page it's going to get executed, and inside that you could see a route config.register routes, and you could see route config. You just have a method route register, register routes, which is static method, and all your routes will be get registered in the application. And I mean, this is one of the interview question you might expect from an interviewer. And what is the first page will get executed when you launch an MVC application? So that would be global.asx.cs file. Okay, and also where your registration of routes will be done. Yeah, so you just have to do it in the register dot routes, and it's already by default you're going to get it when you create an MVC application. So let's I mean, there are some points to be remembered with respect to routing. So routing plays an important role in the MEC framework. Routing maps URL to the physical file or class. In this case, our control class is an MEC, and route contains a URL pattern, handler information. Your URL pattern starts after the domain name. Routes can be configured in route config class. Multiple custom routes can also be configured, and route constraint apply restrictions on the value of parameters. Route must be registered in app underscore start event in global.asx file. Fine, guys. I guess this is all about the basic definitions and basic introduction of routing in MEC applications. So next, actually, there are two types of routing which can go ahead and do that. So like one is attribute routing and the conventional routing. So in the next, I'm just going to cover up conventional routing and the attribute routing in MEC. So yeah, I'm going to end this video here. So please join to the uh, I mean, whenever you're going to upload any videos, please go through that, and hope you guys are following the videos, the series which I'm uploading one by one. This is the part three video, and yep, it should give you a basic understand of routing. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again.